Upgrades. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. This film here is named The Dead Don't Hurt, and this is written and directed and starring in a small role by Mr. Viggo Mortensen. And here's a quick synopsis. In 1860s, Vivienne falls in love with Danish immigrant Olsen in San Francisco, but they are separated and kept apart by the Civil War. And this is also starring Vicky, Krieps. This is a Western that caught me off guard because Vivienne is the main character in this story. We open up first of her and Olsen meeting one another, and a tragedy takes place. It's not fully explained what that tragedy is. All you know is that Vivienne has passed away. That's literally how the film opens up. And then we get the backtrack story of how their love started and what happened through Vivienne in her life. This is a dramatic Western. Not a lot of action in this one. And that's what drew me more to the project than anything else, is that it didn't seem from even a synopsis read of it that this was going to be the typical Western. So when we get the flashbacks of Vivienne and how she was living her life once she met Olsen, and everything that happened when Olsen goes off to war against her wishes, and everything that she had to live through. This is what makes Vicky's performance so powerful in this film, is that Vivienne is played as a woman who knows what she wants, is willing to stand up for her own rights, does not need a man to do so, but also is still longing for the love of this man who, once she met, she thought her life would change. And because of this war he decided to go off to, it completely flipped her world around. Granted, it is a subplot in this film about a crooked mayor and a crooked politician and some deaths that happen. The son of the crooked builder, politician, and the things that he does. All of that are subplots, and all of it, while still leading or tending to make the story grander, when you focus it down, you're focused strictly on Vicky, who plays Vivienne, and her story of perseverance in this film. And that's what makes this movie good. Makes it an enjoyable watch. Even though it is a very slow burn of a watch, it still makes it enjoyable. As Viggo does an amazing job in writing this film and shooting this film of pinpointing just who Vivienne is. Even through a very tragic event that happens with her, that ends up leaving her with a child and leaving her in a situation where she has to raise this child. Throughout that whole thing, we still see the power of Vivienne, of her not willing to give up, not willing to succumb to the pressures of the male tyranny in this town. All of that is what makes this film so good and makes Vicky's performance so good here, is that you never feel bad for Vivienne through everything that she goes through. And that's highly important for the story, that you don't feel bad for her. You may understand the trauma that she's living through, but you never feel bad for her for that trauma. And it makes it a sprawling love story at times. It makes it a sprawling story of perseverance. All of that are elements that really make this movie go. And it's just amazing to me the way Viggo wrote this film, because the dialogue is almost picture perfect here. This is one of the few films where I can say the plot is possibly better than the story. Because the story is very basic, but the plot and everything that happens with Vivienne in this film and everything she must go through to still be this strong, powerful woman in a town and in an atmosphere where that's not celebrated is great. He really sets up this character to be the heroine of the film, and not in a traditional sense where she's the one who goes off and kills everyone. She's the one who sticks up for it. No, it's just that she's the powerful heroine, as the someone who sticks up for herself and understands her worth throughout the entire film. And again, that's what makes The Dead Don't Hurt so powerful here. Again, besides the direction, which I think Viggo does an amazing job with, the score is so great in this film. And it's such a subtle one. And I think that's highly important for any Western, is that you don't go too bombastic with it. But the score feels at times to be as gentle as the character development of Vivienne is. And that's what progresses this more than anything else. This is a film, I think this is his second film, or at least his second back-to-back film at TIFF that he directed, that he's shown, where we see the growth of Viggo as a director and as a writer in this film. And even him taking on the little role here as Olsen was in a role that he even pinpointed that the original actor to play that role had to back out. And that's the only reason he did the role. Like that, it's very weird you say for an actor of Viggo's caliber that the weakest element of him is his acting in this film. But that also champions just how great of a director he is here and just how well written this movie is. So, The Dead Don't Hurt, brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. Out of a possible 10, I'm giving The Dead Don't Hurt a 7.5 out of 10. Vicky's performance here is something to marvel at. She is amazing in this film. It is just something to see just how, throughout all the hardship this character goes through, that Vicky is always captivating. In every instance of this film, she's captivating. Down to slick little lines she say. It's a part where Olsen comes back after being off at war. And she's on the porch with her son as he comes up. And she just asks him, how was your war? and Viggo's reaction to it as Olsen is hilarious. And it's not a moment that's set up to be comedic, but it's a moment just to show just what Vivienne feels. And because she's such an honest character, you believe her when she says, how did your war go? How did your war go? Like, it was just a scene that felt so powerful in just a small piece of dialogue that really shows you just how good and entertaining this movie is, despite some glaring flaws at times with it. But it's a Western, so you're going to get those flaws at times. But what you still get here is a woman-centric Western that we don't get often, that is a drama that the woman is not the person killing everybody. And for that reason alone, I absolutely enjoyed watching The Dead Don't Hurt. But check it out when it drops. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. Peace, people.